Okay, Carrie, come on.
Okay, today is January the 12th. That way, if you come back and try to see it later or hear it later, you'll know which one you have. Today's January the 12th. Before we get started, does anybody have anything they want to share or any questions they want to ask so that we get your question for sure answered? If not, then I'll get started.
Well, I got a question whenever you're ready.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is Mark in Waco. I'm wondering on your lawsuit that has to do with your yearly extortion taxes for the houses. Is that a lawsuit that I could join, or is that pretty particular to you, or what is your thoughts on that?
Well, if I'm going to sue them, I do it on my own because I'm going to touch base on that. If you give me a second, I'm going to explain to you what we've done and how they get jurisdiction on it. And then after I explain that to you, maybe we can figure out a way to help you with that. Is that fair?
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. I sure hate giving this money away every January.
I know you do, and I'm going to show you how they do it and how we've done it to ourselves, really, because of our own stupidity. Now, there was another lady, I think, that had a comment or a question. Would you go ahead and do it?
I just wanted to say thank you for holding the conference.
Oh, well, you're more than welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay, we're going to get started, and we're going to answer that guy's question first. Now,
may I?
You may.
Kerry, this is Art over in Mississippi. I just got an email. Can you hear me?
I can.
I just got an email from Steve out in Wyoming. It says doctors around the world issued dire warning, do not get the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
You know Steve in Wyoming?
I'm sure.
He's the one that puts out the newspaper all over Wyoming.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you for that.
So I just thought I'd let everybody know this because I'm even having trouble with my brother. He's wanting to take the vaccine.
I understand. Okay.
So I yield. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you. Okay. Has anybody on the call ever heard of land, L-A-N-D, land taxes? Okay, by your silence, I'm going to assume you have not. And you would be right. They're not land taxes, they're property taxes. Now, how does the state get jurisdiction over property? Well, number one is if you look up the word property in Black's Law Dictionary, it's got a very unique definition. Then look up eminent domain. Eminent domain defines property as something that you never can own. The state or the government owns it, and you're only a leaser or a leasee of it. Now, how did they get away from it? Well, in Texas, we have the just give me a second here. Homestead Act. And what the Homestead Act does is they'll ask you, do you want a discount on your taxes? The first thing we say is, well, yes. Okay, as soon as they give you a discount, you have to fill out the Homestead Act. In the Homestead Act, it's telling you that in order for you to get a discount, they have to charge you tax to give you a discount. So that's their tie-in. That's their jurisdiction. We found that out by pushing them pretty hard. So what happens is they offer you a benefit. The government never does anything by mistake, and they never give you anything. So if they're going to give you a benefit or they're going to give you a discount, be ready for something to happen. So what happens is you fill out the homestead, you sign it, and you give it to them. That's their tie-in. That's their jurisdiction. Then everything that you argue, you're arguing an argument you cannot win. The argument you put forth will not win. The reason the argument will not win because you're under something completely different. I drive an F-150. I have 18-inch rims on it. I busted a rim. I got a Chevy. It's an 18-inch rim. Looks just like it. Same tire. It won't fit. Guess what? Once you buy the F-150, the Silverado rim will never fit it. And that's what we're doing. We're actually changing the jurisdiction of our property, and we're giving them the jurisdiction. Then our argument will go, then we'll argue, well, our property's not worth that much. Well, there's the other argument that they have jurisdiction on, because what makes a house worth $1 million? The government, the county. If the county says your property is worth $1 million, you're going to pay tax on $1 million. You might only be able to sell it for $100,000, but it doesn't matter. The other thing that we do is what happens is you'll get a statement in the mail, and the statement will say, it'll give you your block so-and-so, line so-and-so, and then it'll say in there, property value $10,000, improvements $100,000, or something to that effect. And it says, this is a statement, do not pay it. Now, what I'm finding out is what we've done is we have done away with the homestead. As soon as we get the statement, that's when we strike. Because if you look at the statement and you wait 30 days, then you've agreed it becomes a bill. Once it becomes a bill, it's kind of difficult then because they gave you your time. So the time to do something about it is during the statement. The guy that asked this question made the comment, I'm tired of giving them my money every year. Well, guess what? You know it's coming every year. You already know that. Why do you wait? And this is not, I'm not chewing on you. I'm just trying to explain to you. Why do we wait until January? We get the statement, then we want to do something. We have 30 days to get it all done. It's not going to happen. That's how it's set up. As soon as you get the statement for this year, prepare for next year. By next year, you can have all of this done. You get the statement, you start asking right then for next year. For in the year 2021, my statement reads, see, now you start making the move now, and you've got enough time to do it. Time is your friend if you start early enough. The guy that asked that question, does that help at all? Well, by your silence, I'll assume that you got all your answers. You got all your answers answered.
I had to unmute there. Yeah, that's helpful, I guess.
Well, you guess. Okay. Okay. Now, let me show you the other thing that I'm doing. Now, I don't give legal advice. Are you in front of a computer by any chance?
I'm in front of a very slow computer today.
Well, that's okay. Why don't you start now then? Put in the word form, F-O-R-M. The statement is a form. That's a statement. Put in form, definition, Black's Law Dictionary. And then when it pops up, we're going to read it, and then I'm going to explain it to you. Then it will make more sense to you. Okay? Does that help you at all?
Yeah. Well,
Okay, then I'm going to show you what they're doing to us, why they're doing it, and how to react to it. Now, you understand the property tax comes every year, right?
Right.
Okay, so last year, did you do anything about it?
I've been doing something for 20 years, mostly just banging my head against the wall and paying them $12,000 in penalties for not doing it right, and I can't seem to make any headway here.
Well, we're going to help you make some headway. Now, let me show you how this works. I'm an asshole when it comes to words and definitions. Now, I want you to understand something. You stand in front of me, and I kick you in the groin, and I kick you hard. I lift you off the floor 3 feet. Would that hurt?
Hurt who?
See, that's what we have to do. Do you understand that? So when you get your statement before it becomes a bill, that's when you attack it. And you do the same thing. I'm in receipt of this statement. Okay? And so when you see what the word form means, I created a form that I use against them, but I use it in the statement area. They only have 30 days. That's all they give us. At the end of the 30 days, then it's time to strike. So when the word form comes up, we're going to read it, and we're going to see what it is so that you get to understand. You have to understand what's going to happen. You got to understand what you're up against. See, when you go deer hunting, you don't take a .22 pistol. Why? Because it won't knock the deer down. See, well, if you go bear hunt, you don't take a 2-inch knife because you'll see. In other words, you have to take the proper tools, or it's just going to get you in more trouble than anything else. See, you don't take a knife to a gunfight. Well, because when you get there, you're going to probably have the worst end of the deal. So what we have to do is understand the fight we're in. You're going to have to understand where you're at in the fight, and then have the proper tools to help you move forward in that fight. Now, the guy that I'm talking to that's looking that up, okay, what we need to do is we need to have more. Do you know how to spell more for me?
Which more?
I don't care. You want more.
It depends on which more.
Okay? You want more. There's only one way to spell more. More spells one way, and that's it. So how do you spell it?
What's M-O-O-R?
No, sir. L-E-S-S. Because if you write a document to the government, a questionnaire to the government, it's 500 pages. Let's give them more. Let's do 750. Let's do 1,000. That's more. So if you get a 1,000-page document from the government, and I write the same document in 3 pages, which one are they going to read?
Oh, they're going to read. They're probably not going to read either one of them. They're just going to say. They're just going to advance it to their legal department.
Right, but then the legal department, which one are they going to read? The 3-page or the 1,000-page?
If they read it at all, it'll be the 3-page.
So I wrote less and got more. So we have to understand, this is the way I think about stuff. So what we have to do is we have to fight the fight we're in the proper way using the proper tools. Now, did the word form come up?
Yeah, it says a model or skeleton of an instrument.
Stop right there. Okay. It should be used in a judicial proceeding. A judicial proceeding is a court of law. Now, before we go on to the next part of that, so what is a form?
A model. A model of an instrument.
Oh, okay, so it's an instrument. That's right, it's an instrument. So we thought we were doing a form is a model or skeleton of an instrument to be used in a judicial proceeding. Now it's going to be written in a methodical area. It's going to have everything that can be adapted or adjusted to the situation. So it's not a form. Guess what it is? It's an instrument. So they send you an instrument in the mail. Now, if you will, look up the word instrument definition, Black's Law. I'm going to try to get you in the right, in other words, you wear spikes in baseball and you wear spikes in football, but they're not the same. See what I'm saying? We have to have the right pair of shoes on to play the right game. So if you will, look up the word instrument definition, Black's Law. That way we'll see what they're doing to us so we can see it coming. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, so instrument says a written document, a formal or legal document in writing, such as a contract, deed, will, bond, or lease.
Okay, now stop. Remember I told you, see, it's a lease. It's a bond. Well, it's also a will. In other words, you're willing your property to this county. See? So what we have to understand is we have to know that's what we're doing. I'm here because my property's not worth that much. Whatever we're doing, it makes no sense to argue an argument that won't work. They're going to let you spill your guts, and then you're going to walk in there and see. That's like saying, well, we played baseball today, and the guy brought a football down there. That doesn't help you. You weren't playing baseball, dude, just because there was bad. See, in other words, you have to have the proper tools. Now we can make a headway. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is when you get your statement, the statement tells you something on the statement. Don't pay this. Do not pay this. That's when you attack it. See where I'm coming from? If you already know it's coming, and you make out, well, why don't we make our own form? Well, I made a form. I have a form that addresses it. So I'm using a model or skeleton of an instrument to be used in a court of law. So if they answer it, they're dead in the water. If they don't answer it, they're dead in the water. Because in 30 days, your statement becomes a bill and you've agreed to it. So what they're doing is, because of your acquiescence, well, it's easier to do nothing. Of course it is. It's a lot easier to do nothing. It's just real expensive. So what I'm finding out, if you take the statement, while it's a statement, if you look up statement in Black's Law Dictionary, it'll tell you have time. This is a statement. It's not a bill. If you want to look it up, go ahead and look it up. We'll read it again. So what we need to do is understand where we're at. You walk in a dark room, they pull the door shut and click the lights off. You've never been in there. You're going to stand there. You're not going to run around the room because you're going to get hurt. That's what we're doing. We're running around the room, and we're spouting off stuff that doesn't make any sense to anybody. And they're going to just let you do it because we don't understand it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to put together a form, an instrument that they have to answer. They say they don't have to. Whatever they say, that's what I use on them. Well, we don't have to answer that because it's unintelligible. When I get the statement, I tell them, well, that's unintelligible. See? Look up the word statement in Black's Law Dictionary. You'll see what they're doing. What they're doing is it's deceitful. It's deceitful on purpose. So what we have to do is we have to become more creative, smarter than they are.
Okay. So statement says, in general sense, an allegation, a declaration of matters of fact.
Okay, see? They're matters. It's a matter of fact. We have to stop it right then. This ain't a fact. Whoa. Do you see does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does, but then what they do or don't respond with never does.
Well, I understand that. So what I do is, as soon as I get my statement, I already know it's coming. So I pull it out, I get my form ready. As soon as I get my statement, I immediately mail my form out. They don't answer. I do a fault and then a default. I file the default with the county. Then I sue the tax assessor collector because here's my question. And think about this. If I don't pay my taxes, they're going to take my property through the courts. There has to be something on that statement that's legal. There has to be. I'm not qualified to even see what it is because I'm not an attorney. That goes on my statement. That goes on my cover letter. I'm doing this so that I can pay my statement because I want to. I need to. I should. See, I'm heading it off before it gets there. I already know what's coming, so I've already got it prepared. I'll get it on Monday and Tuesday. It's back. I get it on Monday before the mailman leaves. I run him down, and he's got it back in his truck going back on Monday. I already know what it is, so it's going back. It goes back while it's a statement. See, I get a copy of it, put the statement in there, and then I highlight the sections I'm doing so that I have, see, now I can back it up. I can back it up. It's no longer a bill. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell by it don't make sense to you, but that's okay. What I'm trying to tell you is what you're doing.
Respond early.
There you go. Respond early. Now, hopefully nobody is in this condition. But if you have a cancer and you wait until it's stage 4, that's a lot worse. If you catch cancer before it starts, right the day before it starts, you have a good chance of beating it. Same thing here. This is a cancer on our society. So as soon as you get it, you attack it. You take the medicine. The medicine is the form. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now, what I've done is I've made a form that will follow right along with that. Now, if you would, go to Title 31, Section 3124, and then I'm going to show you the form that I made. It talks just like this. While you're looking that up, you can come back and do it. Does anybody else have a question so we can move right ahead on this? And we're going to be looking some things up tonight so you can understand.
Tell me that Title 31 what?
Yes. Okay. Title 31 is money and finance. 3124.
Okay.
3124. And then when you read it, then you'll see what it says.
Okay. Stocks and obligations of the United States are exempt from taxation.
Stop right there. You're going too fast. Hold on. So stocks and obligations of the federal government are exempt from taxation. Now let's see what it says.
Are exempt from taxation by a state or political subdivision of a state.
Stop right there. So stocks and obligations of the federal government are exempt from a taxation by a state or a political subdivision of a state. So the state is a state and a political subdivision. Wouldn't that be the county?
Yeah.
Okay, so the county, okay, none of those can charge taxes on federal obligations. Isn't that what it says?
It appears to, yeah.
Okay, now let's define that. If you would, go to Title 18, Section 8, and we're going to define what they just said, but we're going to use the statutes. You got to understand something. It's not about me. I don't care. I never say me in anything. I never argue, well, I'm this is because it's, I don't have to do this because I'm different, or whatever. See, I'm going to use the law on them. That way I have a chance. If nothing else, we can always appeal. We did it this way, and we appealed this case. The case has been in the appeal courts for 9 years. So for 9 years, the guy hasn't paid his taxes and hasn't gotten a tax statement because they don't know what to do, because as soon as they answer it, they're in trouble. Now, did you get Title 18, Section 8?
Hang on just a second.
And then you'll understand how all of this will tie together, and hopefully that's helped you with something. Title 18, Section 8.
Here we go. Okay, obligations of other security of the United States defined.
Now, hold on, you're going too fast. So read that again a little louder so we can hear it.
Okay, it says the term obligation or other security of the United States includes all bonds.
Hold on, doesn't say defined?
Do what?
Doesn't it say obligations and other securities of the United States defined?
Yes, that's the title.
Okay, that's the title. So this is what they are. In other words, now this is my 1020 form. My form that I made, this is how it looks. Now read what it says.
Term obligation and other security of the United States includes all bonds, certificates of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes, Federal Reserve bank notes, coupons, United States notes, Treasury notes, gold certificates, silver certificates, fractional notes, certificates of deposit, bills, checks, or draft for money, draft by or upon authorized officers of the United States.
Okay, that's good enough. Now, did you see anything in there that they're looking for?
No.
You didn't see Federal Reserve, okay?
Oh, yeah, Federal Reserve does still accept that.
Okay, but wait a minute. They can't. Why? Because it's illegal to do so. So, now you just saw my form I made. My form says, I'm ready, willing, and able to pay this statement. In order for me to pay this statement on a timely fashion, this is in my cover letter, you need to tell me what to send you so I know how to do it. I'm not an attorney. I can't make a legal determination. See? In other words, I'm lending everything to them. If they don't tell me, then they agree this tax statement for this year is paid in full. Then I send them the form and my cover letter. They don't answer it. Then guess what? Then what do? I take them to the state district court on the grounds. They sent me something in the mail. I'm trying to do what they ask, but they won't tell me how to do it. How in the world can I do something if I don't know how to do it? I'm not an attorney. Doesn't that make sense to you now?
Yeah.
Okay. If your car won't start, would you take it to a paint shop, to a mechanic, or to a contractor, a building contractor?
Probably a mechanic.
Why? That's what he does. See, I don't have to know how to fix a car. Why? I don't do that for a living. I don't have to know what it says because we've got people that do. So I never tell them anything. What I try to do is I try to ask so that they're in a where they have to tell me. Doesn't that make any sense at all?
Yeah.
See? Okay, did that help you at all, or did that answer your question?
Well, yeah, if I guess if I can stay on top of it, I've been on top of it before, and like I say, I've been trying this for 20 years or more, and what usually ends up happening is they just don't respond, and then they put it up for sale on the steps of the
correct.
The courthouse.
Now, let me explain something to you. What I do, now, I'm not telling you to do this. Please do not hear me say I'm doing it because I don't give legal advice. Once I file my lawsuit against them, I now have a docket number. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, if they make a move on me, they can't. Why? because it's like filing a bankruptcy. You get an automatic stay. I have a docket number. I'm adjudicating that. I'm litigating that. They had an opportunity to tell me what it was, but they refused to do so. By them refusing to do so, see, now they got a problem. Doesn't that make any sense at all?
Then is that your choice is what? Try to get a temporary restraining order on the auction or what? No. What I do is I take them to court, and I'm in my lawsuit. I tell the court I'm suing because I don't know what to do. They're going to try to sell my land. I want this. I want to stay on this until they answer me. All I wanted to do is answer one question. If they'll answer the question, I'll pay it. Yeah.
See?
Ready, willing, and able to pay.
There you go. I'm ready, willing, and able to pay it. I want to pay it. I will pay it. Please let me pay it. I'm begging you. I want to pay it. See? But you have to start. It's going to take them a couple of years to sell the property. They're not going to sell it if you don't pay it the first year. That's never happened. That's the problem. We wait 3 or 4 years, and then we get started. Then you're right. Once you do something, they've already got 3 years wheels turning. See? I have the wheels turning first. That way, when my wheels are turning, when they step up, my wheels are already turning. Does that make sense?
All right. Well, yeah.
See, what happens is you go in there and you say, well, I want this, and I want... So you go 3 or 4 years and don't do anything. Then, because I heard you say that you get, what do you call it, $12,000 worth of, what are they? Late fees or something.
Oh, penalties and taxes.
Penalties. Okay,
yeah,
see, that's
fees
because you...
Lawyer fees.
Okay, see, the problem is you're letting them sue you. See, I don't.
I guess.
Well,
I guess.
Okay.
I mean,
okay. Does it come every year?
Yeah.
Okay. So if it came last year, when did you start doing something about it?
Well, I usually just send them back whatever they send me. So.
Okay, that's not working, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Not really.
I got this plan that doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double down on it. Oh, yeah. That's what you just told me? It doesn't work. So what I do is I send everything back to them 2 or 3 or 4 years in a row. They got 4 years on you, bud. Then when you do something, you're right. See, when I get the statement, the next day that form goes out, the model or skeleton of an instrument, the instrument goes out. They don't answer it. Guess what happens in 30 days? I do a fault and then a default. I file the default in the county. Down at the record, I get a record that I'm trying to do something, and then I immediately, there's only 2 things the court takes, facts and evidence. It's a fact. They sent me a statement. The evidence is right here. It's a fact. I'm trying to pay it. Here's my evidence right here. So I file a lawsuit against the county on the grounds I'm trying to pay it. They won't let me. Now they're going to be taking my house down the road in 3 years from now. I got 3 years head start on them. There's 2 or just pay it. Just pay it. See, it's easier to do nothing. It just is. It's easier to do nothing. Doesn't that make sense?
If they send it like half a year before it's due, how do you figure you got 3 years head start on them? You got 6 months head start on them.
Okay, now here's my question. So you're telling me if you don't pay it by December, they take the house in January?
Oh, no. They don't take the house. They just accrue charges to it.
I don't care about the charges. Makes no difference because I'm going to get them all wiped out at the same time. When they did it, then I just add it to see, when I do my lawsuit, I'm going to say county of and Doe's 1 through 10. You know what the Doe's means? John Doe's. That way, if an attorney firm steps up, they're on it too. I'm not arguing with them. I don't know. Now, I'm going to play a scenario for you. I want you to think about it. Okay? You live in an apartment. Next door to you is a transmission shop. They do these brand new 10-speed automatic transmissions. You have a mechanic that's 25 miles away that has a wrecker. You walk out, put your key in the car, and you turn it, and it doesn't say nothing. It's as dead as a hammer. You call your mechanic, and he guarantees he can start it and get it fixed. He has a wrecker. He'll send it. It's $150. What would you do?
Depends on what the other guy charges.
It's not what see. Depends on. They're a transmission shop. They work on automatic transmissions. Your engine doesn't start. What are you going to do?
Well, you said it was a 10-speed, so it might be a 10-speed bicycle. I don't know.
No, sir. It's a 10-speed automatic. These new Cadillac and new Navigator transmission, automatic transmissions, a car transmission shop. What are you going to do?
Probably go to the transmission shop.
See, they can start a car. They won't charge you nothing to jump it off. If it doesn't start, I'll call my mechanic. I'll spend $150 and get it towed over there. If they get it started, I'll drive it over there. $150, I get a battery. If I have it towed over, it's going to cost me $300 for a $150 battery. See, we need to get outside of the box and start thinking a little bit. In other words, I get my tax stuff, I put it in the book, and I mail it back. Then I mail the next year's back. Then I mail the next year's back. Then the fourth year they come after the house. I got to pay 4 years plus all these penalties and interest. Why would you double down? How many years have you done that? Keep doing it. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm not giving legal advice. When I get the statement on a Monday, before 5 o'clock, I've already got my form made out, a copy of the statement, and it's back to them, certified, so I know they got it. See? Now, guess who's in the driver's seat now?
Yeah. Well,
what happens if they don't answer it?
I guess that works to your favor.
Ain't that something? They're sued. Not tomorrow, today. See? They're not going to take your property in 30 days. They're not going to do it. I don't believe that. So what I'm going to do...
You said something in the beginning about they asked you through the Homestead Act or something if you wanted a discount on it, and that's how we fall into the trap. Well, what if I don't have a homestead on mine? Does that make any difference, right?
Of course. No. Okay. When you read that today, it says. Stocks and obligations of the federal government are not taxable unless you have a Homestead Act. See, the Homestead Act doesn't matter, but that's where they get their jurisdiction to do what they're doing. It's from the Homestead Act. The Homestead Act, they're defining. See, you got to understand something. Did you know a form was a model or a skeleton of an instrument to be used in a judicial proceeding? Did you know that?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay, see, so you didn't know that. So that's your fault, not theirs. There's the problem. See, they have a language. It's called legalese. Guess what they've done to it? They've bastardized it. They've talked about it. Now, let me show you what I'm trying to say. What state are you calling me from, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in Texas.
All right, you're in Texas. I was born in Michigan. In Michigan, when we use the phrase "you guys," what do you use in Texas?
That would be y'all.
All right, you guys means I expose myself to the neighbor and I spank the next door neighbor's wife. Is that what y'all means?
Not usually.
Okay, but see, so now I gotcha. See? Do you know what the answer to that is? I don't know. We don't use it here. What does you guys mean? Let me tell you. Then you could say y'all. See, now,
okay.
That's what it means. But I'm going to, see, what I'm trying to tell you is you're assuming too much. See? Does that make any sense whatsoever? See, I don't assume anything. That's just how ignorant I am. I'm an idiot, okay? But don't be like me. Now, let me ask you a question.
That's my fault for not getting clarification and definition on each word.
Okay, now, if you don't mind me asking you, how old are you?
I can't really say. I was too young as a child to remember.
Okay, so see, if you're in court, they're going to put you in jail for that one. But that's okay. Ask me the same question. I'll be glad to tell you how old I am.
How old are you?
24,455 days. See, you didn't say years. I assume nothing. See? They bastardize their language so that they can do what they're doing to us. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, let me prove my point. Do you mind looking something else up while I ask somebody else a question?
I can certainly try.
Okay, look up Title I, Section 1. We're going to walk through this, and you're going to see what they're doing to us and why we're at a disadvantage. All right, does anybody else have a question to ask? So while he looks that up, then when he looks that up, we'll go back and we'll read that, and you guys are going to see what's going on here. Does anybody have a question?
I have a question.
Please ask it.
You said something about Title 18 U.S. Code Section 8, yes. And it says there that the Federal Reserve banknotes are obligation of the United States. So yes. If we are asked to make payment, and especially like debt collectors, that is not our obligation, and we can use this property, right?
Absolutely, you can. Now, you are correct. See, what's happening is, if you will you look something up for me so we can read it and see? Let's get some definitions tonight. Will you look something up for me?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to look up modern money mechanics. When you look up modern money mechanics, go to page 3. If you will, for me. And when you do, come back on and we'll do it. And when you look up Title I, Section 1, let me know you have it. We'll look that up, and we're going to read it together if you want to.
Title I, Section 1?
No. You look up modern money mechanics.
Okay, I'm looking at. Okay.
And when you look it up, the guy. Okay, good. Then the guy that's looking up Title I, Section 1, do you have it?
Yeah.
Okay, read it to us. Now, we're not in a hurry here, so don't read it fast. Read it slow enough that we can stop and make you tell me what it says so you can see what they're doing to us. Go ahead.
Okay. This is USC 1, Section 1, U.S. Code, unannotated, Title I, General Provisions. Section 1, words denoting number, gender, and so forth.
Okay, go ahead. Now, you understand, Title I, Section 1 is the first rattle out of the box. All titles are built off of this one. Go ahead and read the first line, and I'm going to stop you.
In determining the meaning of any act of Congress unless the context indicates otherwise.
Stop.
Words.
So, hold on. Who wrote Title 26?
Congress.
Okay. Now, does it say there, any act of Congress that's been enacted into positive law? Does it say that?
Not that I see.
Okay, so then that's not a good argument, is it?
Probably not.
See? So, in any act of Congress, unless they tell you otherwise, this is what they're talking about. Now, let's read the next line.
Words importing the singular include and apply to several persons, parties, or things.
Stop. What does singular mean?
One.
Read it again.
Words importing the singular include and apply to several persons, parties, or things.
What does singular mean?
It means plural.
Oh, wow. So in other words, how many wives do you have? Do you have a singular wife or not?
Well,
see, how are you going to defend something if you don't even know what it is? Now let's read the next line.
Words importing the plural include the singular.
So what does plural mean?
More than one.
Read it again.
Words importing the plural include the singular.
What does plural mean?
It means singular.
See, now, doesn't that make sense? Not to me, but for some reason I understood what they're saying. Now let's go back to what I was saying earlier. Well, I can't, I go ahead and I get all this stuff and I put it in. See, in other words, you're going to put it all in an envelope and mail it back. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? They're telling you right here a statement. They got, see, we're going to use this on them. Doesn't that make sense? Now I'm going to ask you a question. All right? What does singular mean? Will you help me out with that? I'm trying to write a letter here, and I need to put singular in it. What does it mean?
Plural.
Let's read the next line now.
Words importing the masculine gender include the feminine as well.
So what does masculine mean?
It means feminine.
Okay, let's read the next one.
Words used in the present tense include the future as well as the present.
Do you see how far off the center we are now?
Yeah.
Okay, now what I'm trying to tell you is, how do you fight a fight like property tax? When you're fighting a fight, they're beating your brains out, and you're going to double down on it. Does that? Tell me who would do that? Tell me somebody that would do that.
In the past, me, I gotta learn to not get mad and at them and call them names. I just need to let them define everything.
There you go. Now let's read the next one.
The words insane and insane person shall include every idiot, insane person, and person non-compos mentis. So
the judge will say to you, well, if you don't do what we tell you to do, we're going to go ahead and put you in for a mental evaluation. That's where they're getting it from. They're telling you they're using 1-1. See? Now, I'm going to try, if you want, I'll show you how to defend against all of this. Let's read the next one.
The words person and whoever include corporations, companies, associates, firms, partnerships, society, and joint stock companies, as well as individuals.
Now, I have a friend whoever. Do you know whoever?
I can neither confirm or deny that.
Well, see, that'll get you in trouble. Okay, now let me show you why. In Texas, do they sell Chevys in Texas?
As far as I know.
Okay.
I don't know. What's a Chevy?
Okay, Silverado, Chevy pickups. Do they sell Chevy pickups in Texas?
Okay, I'll go with yes.
Okay, that's a General Motors vehicle. So what is General Motors?
That's a corporation.
So you do know him. You lied. You lied to me right here in the front of everybody. You said you did not know whoever, and yet whoever means a corporation, doesn't it? See, this is bizarre, dude. Quit doing your traditional thinking. Now, let's read the next one. It just gets worse from here.
Wait a minute. You didn't say corporations were related to the question, though.
That's not what... I don't care. I said, do you know whoever? What did you say? I can't confirm or deny. Then I asked you, do they sell Chevys in Texas? Yes. What are they? Corporations. So you do know who they are. What do you mean? It's a direct violation of the question. See? See?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Okay.
Officer includes...
Go ahead.
Officer includes any person authorized by law to perform the duties of the office.
Now, what office are they talking about? I don't know. So your wife gets put... Now, wait a minute. Your wife gets pulled over. She rolls the window down. And the guy reaches down her blouse and fondles her. What has he done wrong? You mean to tell me you're so worried about answering the question that you don't know what he's done wrong?
Well, at what time?
You see? Do you see how bizarre this is?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's read the next one. It gets worse.
Signature or subscription includes a mark when the person making the same intended it as such.
Okay, if a judge puts a dot on a piece of paper, what would that be?
That would be his mark.
Okay, what else?
Description or signature.
What else? Oh, his signature. There you go. So you've heard this argument. Well, I'm waiting for the judge's original blue ink signature. Now, the next one is the real damaging one. Read the next one.
Oath includes affirmation, and sworn includes affirmed.
That's not the one. Go ahead and read the next one, though.
Writing includes printing and typewriting and reproductions of visual symbols by photographing, multigraphing, mimeographing, manifolding, or otherwise.
All right. Now, the judge puts a dot on a piece of paper, copies it 25 times. You get the 25th generation of it. Tell me what you just got.
Probably a speckle of a dot.
No, sir. You got an original blue ink signature, because it says right there a mark is a signature, and a signature can be reproduced. He reproduced his original blue ink signature, and you got it. So, see, you got to understand, this is not, they're playing a game that you don't understand. And so you're in there taking your property taxes, putting them in an envelope and mailing them back. Thank you. They're going to get you. They already know they're going to get you. They just got to wait. What they're going to do is you're going to give them more money. See? So why wouldn't it be better to understand that and go ahead and argue the argument you can argue?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the guy that looked up...
Assuming I'm not accruing...
I have a question.
Okay. Go ahead, whoever had that question.
If they're collecting taxes and expecting Federal Reserve notes, based on what we read, that's a violation of the law to use them, correct?
That's what it says.
Okay. If I pay it using Federal Reserve notes, haven't I violated the law?
That's why that's exactly right. But you voluntarily did it. So what you have to do is you have to get them in the act of doing it. That's why I put together a form. That's why I do it while it's in the stage that it's in. That's why I file the lawsuit when I file it. That way I'm as clean as I can be. Then if they do something stupid, I can appeal it on the grounds. I'm trying to do something I don't understand. They're telling me something they don't get, and they're punishing me because they won't answer it. Everything I do, that's why I never say me. I never bring me into the picture. It's never anything about me. It's always about what the law says. That's how I'm so successful with this. Now, the guy that just talked to me, do you know what money is? I assume by your silence you don't want to answer.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, hold on a minute. You're incorrect. It's not debt. You're incorrect. Let's see. Wouldn't you like to know what Congress says it is? And wouldn't you like to know what the Federal Reserve says it is? Wouldn't that help?
Gold or silver?
No, sir. That's not. And gold and silver is not money either. All right, the guy that looked up modern. No, it's not. Let's not guess. Let's see what it says in black and white. Then I'm going to come back and ask you. Go to page 3. The guy that looked up modern money mechanics, if you will, go to page 3.
Yeah, I'm in page 3.
Okay, under who creates money, do you see that kind of funny color, kind of a different, do you see where it says who create? Okay, do you see where it says, the second paragraph on the right column where it says the actual process? Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I want you to read that. We're not in a hurry. I want you to read that so I can stop you, and it's going to define money for you. Go ahead and read that.
It says the actual process of money creating takes place primarily in banks. As noted earlier, checkable liabilities of banks are money.
Stop right there. So what's money?
Checkable
liabilities.
No. Incorrect. Let me read it to you and then listen to what it says. We have to know this. As noted earlier, checkable liabilities of banks are money. So what's money?
Checkable liabilities of banks.
There you go. So, if I go to a bank with the Federal Reserve note, it's nothing. When I give it to the bank and it breaks the window there, in other words, as soon as the bank touches it, it becomes a checkable liability. So, a $100 bill can be money or not money. If the bank has it, it's money. When they give it to you, it's not. Because it says, as noted earlier, checkable liabilities of banks are money. So if I take a $100 bill into the bank, it's not money. When I hand it to the bank, it's money. When they give it back to me, it's not money. When I hand it back to them, it's money. When they give it back to me, it's not money. There, that's part. See, I use that with my argument. The argument is, how do you get money? Go to the bank and get it. Okay, I'll go to the bank. As soon as they give it to me, it ceases to be money. You and I cannot, under any circumstance, have any money because the Federal Reserve and Congress has now said checkable liabilities of banks are money. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So, here's the problem that they have with me. When I make them discharge a credit card, they'll come back and say, we want to get paid. You can't pay debt with debt. Because if I can pay debt with debt, I'll pay my cable bill with my internet bill. I'll pay my car payment with my food bill. You can't do that. So they want money. Now I got them. Because when I go to the small claims court, I take this with me. Well, that don't mean nothing. Oh, so in other words, the Federal Reserve doesn't know what money is? See, I'm not going to argue this with them. I don't argue. Well, I know what it is. I let the law tell me what it is. Modern Money Mechanics, page 3, under Who Creates Money, second paragraph, says, as noted earlier, checkable liabilities of banks are money. We have to know these things. They're not going to know it. See, let's go back. Okay, the guy from Texas, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Are you married to a man or a woman? If you don't mind me asking. If you don't want to say it on the phone, if you're ashamed to say it, I understand.
Neither.
Okay. If you get married, would you marry a man or a woman?
Yes.
You see? Now, do you see how this changes the whole argument?
Yeah.
See, in other words, I'm going to argue an argument you can't win. Why? Because you're making a statement that doesn't make any sense. Now, you're from Texas. Every year we have that Texas rattlesnake roundup. Have you ever eaten grilled rattlesnake?
Yes.
What does it taste like?
A little bit like chicken.
No, sir, it does not. It tastes like bald eagle.
And bald eagle, yeah.
see, there's no way you can. How do you question it? Well, have you ever eaten bald eagle? Yeah, it's good. Have you? No. So now I got him. See, the argument that I put out there, well, why don't you just go get some money? Well, because checkable liabilities of banks are money. When the bank gives it to me, it's no longer the bank's. As soon as they hand it to me, it's no longer money. A Federal Reserve note could be money as long as the bank has it. As soon as the bank gives it to me and I cash the check and they give it to me, it's no longer money. They're asking for something that does not exist. So tonight, I'm doing this tonight, and I want 35 pounds of moon sand. How are you going to get that? That's impossible. They don't have 35 pounds of moon sand on the earth. There's not 35 pounds of moon sand. How are you going to pay? Well, then I'm going to take your house. That's what I do with this. I back them into the corner where they tell me, just give us money. Now I got them. Because the Modern Money Mechanics, which is a Federal Reserve, let me tell you what the front of it says. Modern Money Mechanics, a workbook on bank reserves and deposit explanation by the Federal Reserve Bank. So the Federal Reserve is telling me there's no money.
Intrinsically, a dollar bill is just a piece of paper.
Okay, that's what it says here. It says it right here. See? Oh, and so what I'm trying to tell you is, why argue an argument that you can't win? See? The guy from Texas, let me ask you another question. What color is a red shirt? If you don't answer it, we'll put you in prison. So what color is a red shirt?
Which red shirt?
A bright red shirt. What color is a bright red shirt?
Well, depends on the frequency of light hitting it.
All right, bright red. It's bright red. What color is a bright red shirt?
I'm gonna say maybe red.
Well, all right. Now that you're in court, I got you in court. You're chained to the floor. I'm going to bring in 5 guys that are blind. Put them on the stand and ask them what color a red shirt is. What are they going to say?
They're going to say they can't see it.
So then why would you say that? Ask me the same question. I'm just getting you prepared how to answer questions. Ask me the same question.
What color is a bright red shirt?
Thank you for asking. To whom?
Okay.
So, okay, Your Honor, since he can't answer the question, I want that answer stricken from the record. When I got indicted, they asked me 650 questions. I had them all stricken except 4. And those 4 they couldn't use. So I struck 99.9% of all their questions. When they ask me a question, they have to ask me a question. What buries you when you answer the question? I don't answer a question unless I understand it. So I asked you, what color is a bright red shirt? You said, well, I'll assume red. Well, assume all you want. I don't assume diddly. See?
This kind of reminds me of when Clinton said, it depends on what your definition of is.
See, the man was a genius. He's exactly right. He never... See? No, that... But, okay, now, the lady that just said that, I'm going to ask you a question now, if you don't mind. Do you mind?
Okay.
Okay, 1 and 1 and 1 equals what?
How much is 1?
1. It's more than 0 and less than 2. Okay, by your silence, by your silence, I'm going to put you in jail for 120 days. Because, see, they get paid putting you in jail. So I'll ask you one more time. I'll give you one more chance. One and
Sure.
one and one. What is it?
One.
No. You know what the answer is? You just gave it to me. I don't know. What does and mean? Because if and is plus, it's 3. If and is something else, if it's and is just another one, then it's 111. That question has 2 answers, 3 or 111, depending on what the word and means. Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah.
See, I don't assume nothing. I'm just telling you, see? Doesn't that make sense? Huh? That lady, she's gone. Are you still with me?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Do you see? You just said, depends on what the word is. Doesn't the word one and one and one depend on what the word and is? If and is plus, then it would be 3. If and means just the next one, wouldn't it be 111?
Yes.
See? So you have, that's just how I do everything. Are you in front of a computer, ma'am, so I can have you look something up?
Yeah.
Would you go to 1040 instructions? I don't care what year. I'm going to show you now what they're doing to us and how you get... See, we have to understand what they're saying. Going back to Title I, Section 1. The guy from Texas, are you ready for this?
Sure.
All right. What is singular mean?
Plural.
Okay. Would you agree to this? Up is down and down is up. Would you agree with that?
As above, so below.
Okay. Now, I want you to look at the ceiling in the building that you're in, your house or wherever you're at. What color is the sheetrock painted?
In what room?
The room that you're in.
Define in.
Okay, look up and tell me what color the sheetrock is.
It's a different color than the one on the wall.
Okay, what color is the one on the ceiling?
I can not make a legal determination.
This ain't legal. So what color is it? That's the last time I'll ask you. I'll just put you in jail for 120 days, and when we come back, we'll have the same conversation. I'm telling you what they do. That's all I'm doing. So what color is the ceiling?
Well, I'm trying to describe it as best as I can, and I would say
Off-white?
white in places, and it's brown in other places.
Okay, let's call it white, just for this argument. The floor you're in, is it carpet, wood, tile, vinyl, or something else?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay, which one?
Well, it's more than one. It's
The room that you're in, the floor you're standing on, what color is it? I'm trying to show you what they're doing to us. So if you work with me here, we'll get through it. What color is the floor you're standing on?
brown and white and blue and gray.
Let's call it brown. So let's call it brown and the ceiling's white. Now, up is down and down is up. Look at the carpet on the floor, the room that you're standing in, and tell me what color it is. Look down and tell me what color it is.
Who said I was standing?
Okay. Then what color is the floor in the room you're in?
The floor is either white or brown.
The floor is white.
You see how difficult this is? I'm trying to get you prepared. Yes, ma'am, you're correct.
Mm-hmm.
His floor is white and his ceiling is brown. See, it's difficult because we've been trained wrong. Now, what I'm trying to show you is, under Title I, Section 1, left is right and right is left. up is down and down is up. As long as we know that going in, we have an ability to fight it. That's all I'm saying. Now, man, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, every question is a trick question.
That's exactly right. And so what we need to do is we have to just be really better at it than they are. Okay, ma'am, do you know who ZZ Top is?
For the sake of this call, yes.
All right. Billy Gibbons is the lead singer and the lead guitarist. He's got a beard that goes all the way down to his waist. His beard is almost 2.5 feet, 3 feet long. I have a beard. If I don't shave every day, my beard will get that long. So if I don't shave my beard will get that long. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Do you shave?
Define shave.
That's perfect, because now I have to tell you where I'm trying to go with it. See how simple that was? Because if you just said no, I'd said, well, what do you do with your legs? Well, I shave them. Well, you said you did. Now I've got a 2-hour argument that I can frustrate you and throw you and slam you in the corner. That's all you... See, I was trying to get you to say, no, I don't have a beard. That's not what I asked you if you had a beard. I asked you if you shaved. See, this becomes bizarre. It's difficult because of the way they've done it. So, do you know? Okay, I'm going to ask you, what's money, according to the Federal Reserve? What's money?
You mean according to money mechanics or according to the Federal Reserve?
Well, Federal Reserve wrote Modern Money Mechanics. So, according to the Federal Reserve, what is money?
The checkable liabilities of banks.
There you go. See, now that you know that, would you have any money? No. Well, what's that money? Well, what's that in your checking account? See? Now, the question is, see? Now, ma'am, do you file a 1040 form?
I'm glad you asked. What is a 1040 form? I would know the answer to that. Lesson learned. Be on guard all the time.
Yes. Did you look up the 1040 instruction book?
It wasn't me. It was the other young lady.
Okay. The other lady that looked up the 1040 instructions, would you come back on for us so we can let you read something so I can show you how to try to protect yourself in what this... Look at what Trump's going through, whether you like him or not. When are they going to leave the poor man alone? See, all they're trying to do is they don't like him. So this is what they do. They darn sure don't like us because we want what's ours. The lady that looked up the 1040 instructions, are you with me? Hit *6 so you can come back on. Okay.
Okay, I can look it up.
Would you please look it up for me? Look up the 1040 instructions. Now, has anybody got a question for me that I can, while she's looking that up, we can go to that.
How do you stop a levy?
I'm sorry, how do I what?
Stop a levy. IRS levy.
Well, okay. Have you gone to the tax? We go to the tax court, and then the IRS tells us they don't have jurisdiction, and then we use that as our cornerstone. And what happens is they go ahead.
I did that and submitted it to the IRS agent, and they still have not stopped the levy.
That's fine. We're going to show you here. As soon as we get to this lady, she looks this up, I'm going to show you how to do it. First thing you do is you write them a letter asking them how come you have a levy. They'll tell you. They're going to tell you why. And ma'am, do you have that looked up?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go to page 100. Now listen to how she reads this. and we're going to read this, and I'm going to stop you along the way so we can show you how and what they're doing and how the argument that we're going to put them in, and they're going to become a much better
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I'm on page 100.
What's at the top?
At the top is number 1, the amount on Form 1040.
Okay, then that's not where you need to go to page 110. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for Paper Reduction Act, Privacy Act notice.
Okay.
And it'll be highlighted. It'll be bolded out. It might be 105. You're real close to it.
Page 10. Your rights as a taxpayer. Nope, that's 12.
No.
Nope.
Yep.
Oh.
No, go to page, start on page 98 and work your way back, because you're looking for disclosure, Privacy Act, and Paper Reduction Act notice is what you're looking for. Maybe you can type it in on your find, put in disclosure, and it should find it for you. Or maybe type in Privacy Act.
You got 10 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
It's page 105.
Okay, go to page 105 there, ma'am, if you will.
Okay. 105.
No, at that, no, not a 105 on
there it is. You're right.
Okay. Okay.
The top,
what page
is the IRS restructuring. Okay.
All right. Now, I want you to go to it's got 3 columns. Go to the left column, the 3rd paragraph. Start reading it, but I'm going to stop you along the way so we can figure out what they're saying, okay?
Okay. Okay, 3rd paragraph. 1, 2, 3.
Column.
On the left column. Our legal right.
Stop right there. Who's our?
Us. Oh, no, IRS. Sorry.
Okay, so let's read it that way.
Okay. IRS's legal right to ask for information.
Hold on a minute now. So the IRS is legal. What's the opposite of legal?
Illegal.
Okay, so that means if they have a legal right, they must have an illegal right also. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Okay, let me show you how powerful this is. I need you to stop and pick up something for me and bring it to me. Would you bring me, from Bubba, 650 pages of child pornography? Would you bring that to me?
I don't know who Bubba is, and
I'll tell you who he is, and I just need you to pick it up. Would you pick it up and bring it to me?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not sure what I'm picking up.
Child pornography.
But define that.
Okay, babies that we've taken pictures of in all different kinds of acts.
I just love the way you explain that.
Would you do that? Would you pick that up for us?
What kind of acts?
Sexual acts.
It's against my religion.
I don't care. We're not doing a religious argument here. This has nothing to do with religion, okay? It's illegal, by the way. If you get caught with it, you'd go to prison. So it's an illegal
I know.
Okay, so
then why are you asking me to do something illegal?
Okay, there you go. That's what I was waiting for, because the IRS is legal right. So if they tell you to do something that's not legal, they're asking you to pick up 650 pages of child pornography. I want you to understand with this. Now, you said the IRS is legal right to ask for information. is Internal Revenue Code 6001, 6011, and 6012A, and their regulations.
Yes.
Now, they say, who's they?
IRS says.
No, our was the IRS. Okay, read it straight through to there and it'll tell you.
Okay, IRS is.
Read it out loud. The IRS is legal right.
Well, I still don't understand they then, because the first sentence is our legal right, which is IRS.
Okay, IRS's legal right to ask for information is Internal Revenue Code 6001, 6011, and 6012A and the regulations.
They are the Revenue Code section 6001, 6011, and 6012A.
Well, let's see what they say. What does it say?
That you must file a return or statement.
Stop right there. Does it say a 1040 there?
No, it does not.
So, that's what they're doing. So what you do is you would write a letter in this gentleman's behalf, or in his behalf, he would say, you got a levy on me, and I don't understand. Why do you have the levy? They're going to say, because you didn't file a 1040. Now, they broke the law. Now, you can bring this into them. They say you must file a return or statement. Now, I haven't filed a 1040 since 1988, but every year I do file a statement. So I type on a piece of paper, eat shit and die, put it in an envelope, and I mail it to them. Is that a statement?
Yes, it is.
So when they say to me, well, you didn't fill out a 1040, I say, I know, but what I did do is I'm current on all my statements. Now, ma'am, do you file a 1040?
I file a statement.
Okay. See what you did? Did I ask you that?
No, you did not. You asked me if I filed a 1040. I guess I could say yes.
Okay, you filed a 1040. I thought you said you filed a statement. See, now you're in trouble because you gave us too much information. See?
No, because I can refer them to the Disclosure Privacy Act on page 105 of their own 1040-page booklet and say it says it right here that I can file a return or statement. Oh, but it doesn't say 1040. Never mind.
See, so they asked me, do you file a 1040? No, why? Well, because under the Disclosure, Privacy Act, and Paper Reduction Act notice, in your publication, it defies me to it. It says I can't. It will not let me file one. Then I don't say another word. Guess what the next thing they ask?
Did you file a statement?
Nope. They'll say, where does it say that? I'm glad you asked. Let me read it to you. See, you do whatever you want. I'm not telling you to file. I'm not telling you not to file. But if you can get all your money back up front every week, if you're a exempt employee and you get all your money up front, that's why they don't want you to have one, because they know you don't have to file one. You can file a statement. See? Does that make sense?
It does to me.
See? So people that are getting into trouble for not filing a 1040 because they don't understand, well, I don't have to file a 1040 because they don't say I have to. There's no law saying that I have to. I'm Superman. I'm Batman or whatever. See, it's not about that. What it's about is they say 6001, 6011, and 6012A and the regulations say I must file a return or statement. The word or means a return or a statement. They're equal. In other words, if you're married and you're a man or a wife, they're equal. See? I have a son and a daughter, so they're equal. See?
Title 1, Section 1.
There you go. See, what's happening is because we are not understanding what they're trying to say to us, so we're trying to, what do they mean? Well, I have no idea what they mean, but I know what they don't mean. See, it's easier sometimes to fight the argument that they're not saying, because they're telling you what they're not saying, but they're not telling you what they're saying. Does that make sense?
No, because if they told you what they were saying, then that would reveal them, and that would be illegal because they're actually doing things illegally, twisting
There
words.
you go. And there's right, and there's how you get it, and there's how you get around it. The guy that's asking me about the levy, do a 12277 form, a 12277. Fill it out and just send it in. It says lien on there, but just send it in and as a levy and tell them you got a levy and you want to know why it's there. They'll come back and tell you something, and then you've got something you can get traction with. We've got about no more time, so does anybody have another question? So I'll be glad to ask it before we call it a night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our next call is January the 26th. Was you going to ask the question, sir? Okay, January 26th will be our next call. And I want to thank y'all for calling and joining in tonight.
Yes, I do too, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
Y'all did really good. Give Terry a little credit.
Well, I don't need any credit. I just want people to start getting their money back and stuff. I don't need the rest of this. Thank you for being here, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.